Good morning, everybody. Back again. I just is my second time live today. Welcome to Platinum Mindset Podcast. I am here today with Ramona
Ramona.
Ramona Crabtree-Falkner. How are you doing this morning?
I'm great. How about you?
Good. So tell us a little bit about who you are. What do you do?
Yeah, so I am a 20-year holistic wellness professional. I live in the Central Florida area, and I have been working as a mindfulness practitioner for the last 20 years. And most recently, I've been really working on mindset and intentional living so that we can break through burnout and really awaken our authentic alignment so that we can be living in our truth.
Burnout. I know about burnout sometimes.
Yeah, I mean
Give me headaches about stuff.
it's a real issue for sure, right?
Yes, it is. 100%. I think we all go through it.
Yeah, and it doesn't escape anyone, no matter what you are. I mean, even as a holistic practitioner, I've had my own experiences with burnout, and that's ultimately what led me to wanting to help others with it. Because when I began to really connect to what it was that was burning me out, which was essentially living at other people's desires of me, then I began to really set myself up in alignment and so just setting my energy up, having a more appropriate boundaries, things like that. Just really, then I was able to feel more alive, more inspired, more balanced overall. And
So when you
that
say
comes with
holistic, what is it?
mindset.
So when you say holistic, tell people like a little bit more about that.
Say that again.
Whenever you say holistic, what do you like? What part of that?
So
Explain
I
that to
was
people.
I was a massage therapist, and then I moved into energy works, yoga. So I really kind of all of my teachings come from the background of understanding the body as a whole being, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So it's moving beyond just like the physical dysfunctions or going into the mind alone. It's understanding all of it interacts, and how we interact with all of our parts ultimately supports the kind of experience and life that we're living.
See, I think like so. I've been adding fitness to my mindset because they're like, you do fit, you're physically fit. Why don't you add it to it? I'm like, it's pretty true. You can't have a disciplined mindset
Yeah.
and then walk past the mirror and see yourself way overweight, out of shape, and just unhappy with yourself. It's kind of hard to
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
both.
I hear you.
And it's a big thing, big problem these days in America, especially in America.
Yeah. Well, and I think that all of that comes back to our mindset, like
Hmm.
recognizing that care is across all parts of ourself. So mental, emotional, and physical. If we're not caring for all those parts, then we can have some sort of dis-ease that is causing us dysfunction in our life.
And it's amazing. Like these, like, oh, you're a coach. You don't. I'm not a robot. We all
Yeah,
have.
no.
We all have something sometimes.
Well, and I'm glad you say that, because that's one of the reasons my company is Authentic Life Journey, because it's about understanding that to be authentic is to be messy as well as light and airy. It's about understanding that we're in a constant state of recalibrating and balancing. And when we come across different things, that even as a coach, even as a guide for others, I'm still doing my own work. And if I don't do that,
Hmm.
then for me personally, then I don't think I should be doing the work with
Yeah.
others. Like, I have to be constantly taking care of my side of the street.
Yep. I mean, it's there's like an investor telling you to invest something, but then he doesn't invest in it. It's like, hold on, man.
Right. Yeah. And then that's it, right? Like, if I'm inviting you to go get energy work and I don't get energy work, then why do you trust me? Right. So
Exactly.
for me,
Yeah.
it's about making sure that I'm walking my talk.
Yep. Practice what you preach. Uh,
Absolutely.
I just had I hired a coach. Well, hired and fired pretty quickly, but he was like, okay, we're gonna get you to put you're gonna tell coaches that you get coaches to six figures in 90 days using organic ads. I'm like,
Okay.
do what? I'm not even doing that. It doesn't matter. You made six figures in the other businesses, so
Yeah.
we're gonna go. I said, so you want to fake it till I make it? Yeah, they don't even. I'm like, nah, I don't think so, dude. I can't tell somebody how to do it. I'm gonna teach myself how to do it first.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, anything that I'm going to guide, if I don't live it, then there's no point in me saying it. So, and I've had some experiences too where I hired a coach that was misaligned and I had to walk away because I was like, this is not authentic to me.
Hmm.
And so if it doesn't feel authentic to me, then it's not going to come across authentic. And then how can I have my company name
Yep.
if I'm not being authentic?
Exactly.
So I think that that authenticity piece is really important. And that also helps with alignment, you know? And so for me, it all comes back to mindset and alignment. So wherever I'm putting my energy, if it's not aligned to my values, then it's not going to work. And I don't want to be someone that's out there saying something that is not true for me.
Okay, I got a question for you. Okay,
Yeah.
so how do you stay on track?
How do I stay on track? Well, it's a daily practice, right? So
I feel
because
you on that one. Trust me.
yeah, because my background is in yoga, and I mean, I have 20 years on the mat that I've practiced, I've led, I've taught, like all of that. And so for me, when I'm doing any kind of work with any of my clients, it's what I'm teaching is a practice. And each day it's going to look a little different because we wake up different depending upon how we experienced the day before, what's going on in our life. And so in yoga we're always talking about balance, right? So it's we're never at a plateau space, and not to say that we don't plateau, but we're never like living in the same plane all the time.
Mm.
We're constantly balancing the scales between action and rest, and we are duality, so we're constantly having to work within those aspects of duality. And the more that we can understand that, the more that we can honor that, it's easier than to accept that one day I may be really on the practice and another day I may need to have to reach for it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I hear people say work-life balance. I was like,
Yeah.
work-life balance. I don't think you'll ever be balanced.
Right. Right. But again, the word balance is about, it's going to be moving. It's not flat and steady.
I'm
Does
like
that
this.
resonate? Yeah. So for me, it's about not getting to where we're like here, like we have this one down here, this one way up here. It's about keeping those scales where they're more like moving in a 5 degree
Mhm.
of movement versus a 80 degree of movement.
Yeah, that's. I just gotta whenever I'm doing like I've been like trying to just stick to a schedule. Trying to, if I'm not like on a schedule,
Yeah, yeah, and that's
I
a
really feel like
practice, right? So like if I don't align to a schedule or to a specific routine that helps me to stay more intentional, then I won't. And I go through times like that where I'm just like, I'm out, peace out. I need to take a minute and shut down that structure and give myself some rest. And I think that that's just as important as that structured activity.
I just gotta make sure. Like I'm not one of those. I'll watch some videos every now and then, but I don't go down this rabbit hole and just go all scrolling, 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 scrolling.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff I watch too is like educational. So it's like I'm watching like
Mhm.
other countries are
Yeah.
doing. I'm not watching cats meow. It's like some of the stuff.
Right.
Wow,
To
some of the
each
things that's
their
coming
own,
in.
but yeah, again, it's about moderation with anything. Like if we're going to extremes, then that's where, in my observation, we get into sticky spots.
It's like extreme. Like us, like with the mindset of like quitting smoking. I see somebody. Oh, I quit smoking. Oh, I'm trying, but that word trying. But
Right.
oh, at least I don't smoke anymore. I vape now. I'm like, it's worse.
Oh,
You used to
yeah,
smoke 2 or 3 cigarettes a day. Now you're vaping 10,000 puffs a day. It thing's your baby. You wake up with it. It's like, don't say, at least I do this now. So you give it
yeah.
one for the other.
Right. Well, and it's funny that you used that word trying. So that was given to me one time about the phrase around that was trying is lying. So either I'm doing or I'm not, and so it's a choice. And I talk a lot about choices, and that anything that we're choosing to put our energy into
Mhm.
ultimately is what we're creating more of.
I
Mhm.
got energy going every freaking which way. Trying to get this going, trying to get that going. Like, you know what? I got to start making sure I don't like some of these networking things. I'm like, if it's not benefiting me right now, I just can't go. I got to stay. Nope,
Mm.
I can't
Well,
go.
so right. So alignment for you right now, that's not an alignment. And
And it's
again,
still
I think
crazy.
it's
Even some, it's
dependent.
crazy.
It's dependent on each person. So they find they have to find what's right and aligned for them. And I just know that for me personally, that is what I always come back to. Is this an alignment for me?
It's
Yeah.
hard not to say, okay, yeah, I'll come to your event. Sure, click, click. And then after I know it, I look at my calendar, I'm like, geez, when are I eating lunch?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got
Well,
18
and again,
students today.
it's boundaries, right? So you have to, it's that balance. We keep talking about coming back to that. So it's about that balance. So for me, like I sit and I look at my calendar and I'll say, okay, I'm going to give myself X number of networking hours per month. And then I just schedule those out so that I'm not, and they're not all in the same week and on the same day. And then it's okay, I have this many free calls I'm going to take during that week and these many sessions I'm going to take during that week. And then as I do that, then I don't feel strained by the experience that I'm having in
Yeah.
my business or in my life. Mm-hmm.
What was it? I was on something last night with my 4 questions he said he asked himself every single day. What was it? Dang, it was like 4 good questions too. It was what did he say? He said, dang, what the heck did I, oh, he asked himself, what does he need to start doing something, stop doing something, do more of something, and do less of something.
Yeah. And that will help you 100% find your alignment. 100%.
I gotta ask myself that every day.
Mm-hmm.
I started asking myself that. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
do more of this, do more of that, more of that. It's concentrating on one thing. That's
right.
I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
Especially when you got to do this task. I'm like 38 VAs in one freaking person.
Well, that's where I get into prioritizing. Where does my energy need to go today? And for me, that is one of the best tools that I use is where's my energy needing to go today? What kind of energy do I have for today? Do I need to have more yin energy where it's more restorative and quieter, or do I have like a lot of energy that I can go out with my big personality and do all the things, right? So it's, again, for me, it always comes back to the balancing point and alignment. And
how are you getting energy?
Yeah. How do I get my energy? Well, again, it's what I'm surrounding myself with. So in my beliefs and what I teach, it's about understanding that what I ingest in any one of my senses, so whether it's taste, touch, smell, sight, hearing, all of those frequencies are either helping me feel more alive and inspired and passionate, or they're dragging me down. So I don't watch certain television programs. I don't watch news outlets because for me, those energies are dampening and I don't want that. So
watch the news, go fight.
Yeah. So I'll listen to frequencies, or I'll listen to audiobooks that are speaking concepts that I feel inspire me, because I want more inspiration in my life. And so and also I want my mindset to remain in alignment with what I am manifesting into my life. I'm holding the vision for my life to go. And so if I'm taking in any information that would start having me question that, then I'm not going to get anywhere. I had someone just recently I met with, and she was like, well, how are you feeling about thus and so political, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm not having this conversation with you. And they were like, what? I was like, I don't need to ingest or think about that, because I don't believe that affects my potential. Mm-hmm. And so I won't give it power.
It'll affect me. I can't listen to it. It's pissing me off.
Yeah. But right. So that's why I don't ingest it. For me, it just causes dysfunction, and I don't need that.
Negative energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
I need to find a way to get like natural energy.
Yeah. So being outside, being around people that are uplifting and inspiring. There's a gentleman that's in our networking group that he comes in. He's got a big personality, and he wears these really fun, inspiring clothing, and he's always happy. And so you want to be around that more. It just it brings up the experience in the environment. So yeah, and I think outdoors is so important to me. All of the retreats that I lead with women, I want there to be a nature element. So like, for instance, I have a retreat in Montana this year. Well, we're going to be like in a valley, not in a town, in the mountains, and then going into Yellowstone. And so like those experiences, I think, help us step away from the noise and
Hmm.
get to a place where we can really hear our true authentic voice and remember what we're really meant to be versus all of the noise that we live in every day.
You ever seen that? What is it? That quiet room.
Oh, I mm-mm.
It's the world's quietest room. And if you stay in an hour, you get 5 million. Nobody's ever done it.
Mm.
The one guy did 58 minutes and something seconds. I would have been so mad. He's like, I was a little bit more than a minute. I would have got $5 million. And you don't know there's no clock. He said he can't put a clock because you hear your heart beating. That's how quiet it is.
Wow. Not heard of
I want
that.
to
I'll
see
have
how
to
it
look
make
into
people go
it.
insane. I think I could do it. I don't know. Nobody, but they talk about getting into yourself and thinking about who you are and all that stuff. Well, that gets you quick.
Yeah, yeah. But I think it's also our greatest gift to have a more loving and authentic relationship with ourselves. And
Mhm.
I don't know that I was taught to do that. So to learn to do that as an adult has been a process.
I don't think anybody's taught to do that. I don't think anybody's taught to love themselves anymore,
Mm, yeah.
especially nowadays.
Well, I think that, I mean, at least in my observation, I'm watching my grandchild be taught to really like feel empowered, and
Hmm.
they're taking a very different approach than I remember being taught myself.
Yeah,
So it's lovely to see that there is some change happening, and it's really important, I think.
I know. Who was it? Doctor. What's his name? Joe Dispenza. They did a study on kids with confidence,
Hmm.
and a confident kid is not will not go into peer pressure. Will not go into
Right.
the book. Not go. They don't care about all of it. They're like, all right, whatever.
Mhm. Right, right. And so ultimately a lot of what I teach is helping raise our frequency into that space of knowing who we are, valuing who we
Hmm.
are, surrounding ourselves with the things and activities and people that that are, vibing in that same frequency and
Yeah.
helping stay up in those places. And so for me, empowerment is about knowing yourself and then aligning what you're doing to that truth and not being swayed by anything or anyone, because you know yourself so well that you don't need to meet anybody else where they are.
Everybody's opinion is none of your business.
Right, right. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I have to work my own edges with that because I'm still human and I still have programming that I was raised. And I'm not just talking about my childhood raised. I'm talking about
Mhm.
my adulthood, even like the things that I was operating under that I thought, well, this is what makes me successful or loved or blah 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 blah. And then when I started breaking those things, you know, relationships shifted and I wasn't able to be in certain scenarios anymore because they didn't align to my truth. But I had to figure out what that was first.
Yeah, I've been. I went through it about. I guess the past. I'm gonna say 8, 10 years. Going through health stuff. Going through major health stuff. And then going through divorce. And it's like I was always like I was. I guess that since I was 20s. Actually, since I was in high school, probably
Mm,
had a chip on my shoulder because I have adrenaline disorder. But it's always I was just always quick mad.
yeah,
But then once I wasn't around the people that I've always been around my life, and it was like, whoa,
yeah.
I'm not clicking off anymore. Yeah, I am responsible for my own actions, but it's like when you
Mhm.
don't have that person poking you,
Yeah, yeah,
whole world of difference.
yeah.
But you don't, when you don't know any difference, it's like you don't think that.
Right. Well, and then the other piece of that is starting to pay attention to red flags. So if somebody new comes in and they trigger that, is this person aligned to be in my
Oh
life?
yeah, now it's the red flags go right up immediately. Whoop,
Hmm.
nope, going this way. You can stay over
Hmm.
there.
Hmm.
Keep your and I'd rather just have a quality of friends than a quantity.
Yeah, 100%. And for me, that's it. Like I have five people that I have these five people that I know 100%. That's not to say that I don't have another layer outside of that, but I have core people that those are the people that I go to,
Mhm.
and they hold space for me and I hold space for them, and we can do what we need to do. And I know that I can authentically show up there without any question.
Now, when you listen to the sounds and stuff, do you listen to like a certain frequency? Do you listen to certain like subliminal messages in it? Do you listen to certain?
Yeah, I mean, I listen to a number of different things. So I am my background is I do have some sound healing background. So listening to, and there's many different hurts. So I'm not going to name any one because for me, I think it's dependent upon what I need it for. But like you can get hurts that are going to help with self love, or you can get hurts that are going to help with empowerment or with speaking your truth. And so for me, it's about just finding what I need in that moment that is going to help me work through the energetic imbalances that might be keeping me from speaking my truth or loving myself that day or what have you. I think I had a talk I had to do this morning, and so I was driving in there listening to a heart chakra hurts, just to help me, be open and trust my voice and trust my heart is guiding me to speak whatever the group needed to hear. And it was exactly perfect. There was no nervousness, there was no anxiety. Like I walked in and I felt completely settled in myself, because that heart chakra, that is the seat to our soul. So when we can open that up and let that part of ourselves be what guides the conversation, then we're able to be at peace.
Now, do you do any hypnotism or anything like that?
I have some training in hypnotherapy, but I'm not like a hypnotherapist. I do yoga nidra. I have used some hypno meditation education that I do with some of my clients, depending upon what's coming in, to help with stress relief or to help with feeling confident in themselves. And I have found that works. I have one client that I did a recording for him, and he listens to this stress relief hypno meditation daily that I recorded for him, because that's what helps him stay really aligned
Mhm.
to not picking up the stress. Because
I
it's
want to
easy to do, right?
I tried to do it one time, but it was one of those like, what's his name? He does it like he does the same thing. Now it's recorded every Saturday, but he's a big time hypnotist. But it was such like it's the same thing over and over and over, and it's
Mhm.
not really like a hypnotism. It's kind of, I mean, ultimately you're putting yourself into it anyway. But this one's kind of like it's too. It's like just a generic, just picture yourself in 5 years, 5 years back. Go to the
Yep.
side. It's like
Yep.
I want to
Yeah.
be deeper. I want to be put
Yeah.
into it. I want to be really hypnotized.
Yeah, I do. I do have recorded as part of my program manifesting meditations where you're envisioning your future. Because again, as we're beginning to work with our energy and work with what we're creating in our life, we really want to be aligning ourselves physically, mentally, and emotionally to that vision, and then
Mhm.
spiritually becoming the magnet for it to come to us. And if we don't believe it, then our body's not attracting that frequency. So the more
Mhm.
that I believe this vision that I'm holding, the more likely it is I'm going to become magnetized to receive it, and the quicker it's going to come. But if my mind goes anywhere that says that that's not possible or creates chaos, then what I'm actually doing is putting myself in a place where I'm slowing down the potential for it to come to me. So our energy has to be aligned. And you mentioned Dr. Joe Dispenza. That's one of his biggest teachings, is that you have to align yourself physically, mentally,
Mhm.
emotionally, spiritually in order for you to receive that. And you have to be living it like it's already here right now. And that's exactly what I experienced in a conversation this morning after my talk. Is someone walked up and said, "Hey, we have this opportunity. I have this opportunity. Would you be interested in being put in to potentially speak at this event?" And I was like, yes, because that's part of the vision that I'm holding down here. And the talk that I did today was just a stepping stone towards that. And
Mhm.
so the more that I show up in that frequency, in that belief, already living it, the easier that those things are coming to
Yeah.
me. So, you walk away from situations, and if you don't take everything in and claim it, even if it's small, even if it's just somebody's, because even if that doesn't pan out, it's spirit showing me something else is coming.
Yeah. I like
So,
that. People don't realize how strong, how powerful your mind is. Like your
uh-huh.
mind, like I went. I'm alive because of it. Because your mind only knows what you teach and tell it. So if you tell you
Absolutely.
you're sick, you're sick. You tell you're gonna get a wreck, you can get a wreck.
Yep. 100%, 100%. And so we really have to be very intentional with our thoughts and with our actions that are aligned to those thoughts.
Especially, I mean, you see kids nowadays. Kids aren't kids anymore. They just fed everything. They're fed like a robot. Like you're in the
Mm,
military, like back in the military, all the subliminal stuff they tell you. You don't
mm,
notice it. It's there. They can say it's not there all they want, but it's there.
yeah.
I mean, it plays on basics too, so it's
I
crazy.
think that, yeah, and I think that that's anywhere. So like if you, it doesn't matter what kind of life experience you've had, there can be, because the brain is programmed based on consistency and repetition,
Hmm.
right? So whatever you're doing that is consistently being done and you're doing it repeatedly becomes a behavior. It becomes how you function, right?
Hmm.
So we can either passively or actively manifest our life. We can either be operating on those those brain pathways that were created through our experiences, or we can start creating new pathways that become our new reality that we are choosing.
Yeah, that's when I hear people like, "Oh, like just say they're 65. When I was a kid, I'm like this because when I was a kid, no, 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 get that out
Mm,
you. Stop using it as a crutch. Stop telling yourself that.
yeah, yeah. Like and there's some people that can never break that, and there's other people that are seeking it and doing everything in their power to pursue it. And that was my story. I was like, I'm not staying where I was stuck. And for
Hmm.
me, that's a lot of what happens with my clients is they get stuck in a pattern, and then they're like, I'm not happy, I'm not feeling joy, I don't like this job, I don't like this experience. And so once we start working together, oftentimes what's happening is things start dramatically changing in their life because they're becoming so aware of what's not aligned that
Hmm.
when they apply what is aligned, the things that were there can't stay.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's an important thing to understand, that when you're making transformative changes in your life, it things are going to fall away, and that is uncomfortable and it's necessary.
Yeah. I think the biggest fear I think people have is the uncomfortableness. They don't want to be uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Then it
Yeah,
gets uncomfortable, like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
yeah,
Well, life is not supposed to be sunshine and roses. Nobody ever said it was going to be.
right.
So if you
But
expect it to be when it's not,
yeah, right.
you're
And
going
I
to never
and
get it.
I 100% agree that your comfort zone or your growth happens outside of your comfort zone. And I also believe that there is a difference between discomfort that is growth and discomfort that is misaligned.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there is some stuff there that we have to learn to understand. Okay, am I uncomfortable because this is a growth, or am I uncomfortable because this is so wrong?
Mm.
This is so wrong for me that if I don't exit out of this, it's actually going to cause me harm. And as you're beginning to grow and find those places of discomfort, you may have to go through some bumps and bruises to figure out the difference between the two, because sometimes we think that something is aligned and then we get into it and we're like, this is so not right for me.
Yeah, exactly.
So just like you were saying earlier about, oh, I had this coach, and I'm like, yeah, this is not it. This is not for me. And then we have to be willing to feel empowered to walk away, regardless of
Hmm.
of the outcome. And I did the same thing. I had a situation. I was with a coach. It was so misaligned, and I walked away 3 months before the end of that. And I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this, because it was causing me more harm to be there than it was helping me.
I think the biggest thing is nowadays too is like people have they're getting this bad taste with coaches. Well, it's because there is so many gurus that are like, hey, I got a certification. I know everything about like, no, okay, you can have all the certification. And my opinion is, you can have a certification, great.
Mhm.
You can have you can have a surgical certification, but if you never did surgery, you ain't touching me. You got to get your freaking practicing on me. I know you're practicing physician, just not on me.
I hear you. Yeah.
What was
Well,
the coach
and and to that
uh,
point, I mean, like, I think that's one of the things that I really feel is important is, what is your why to your work? And so for me, my why for my work is I want to be of service. And is there financial commitment that is attached to that? Yes. But I also want to make sure that whoever is showing up on the other side of that service is ready to do the work as I'm setting it up, is ready to get uncomfortable, is ready. And so for me, if I have my free call with somebody and they come in and I'm hearing certain responses that I'm like, I'm not it for you, or
Mm-hmm.
you're not, or you're still a few steps away from where I can help you, then I will say, I'm not your girl, or at least I'm not your girl right now. And when these things start to happen, then let's circle back and see how we can work together. But for me, an authentic approach and being a coach, I want to make sure that the outcome is there's growth, period.
Yeah,
And so I believe in the value of being true and not just saying yes for the dollar.
exactly. I see. I like whenever like they have these like on LinkedIn. Somebody send a proposal, which LinkedIn proposals is just they're starting to be a joke. I'm like, yeah, just click, click, click,
Mhm.
click. But I don't send proposals because it's like, okay, you want to send you a cookie cutter proposal
Yeah.
that actually has zero value, zero worth, anything. It's really, I can still get to talk to you,
Yeah.
but I make sure I stress this call is not. I'm never going to pressure you to buy anything.
Mhm.
It's not a sales call. It's a connection call. See if
Yeah.
we can connect, align together. If we don't, okay, no big deal, no
Yeah.
loss. I'll try to point you in the right direction. If
Yep.
we do, great. But I'm not gonna sit here and try to sell you on it.
Yeah. And I can tell you, because I read energy, and then that is one of my primary intuitive senses, I can tell within the first 5 minutes of a call whether or not I'm aligned with the person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And so that is not a good, bad, right, wrong. It's just I want to make sure that there is alignment, because for me, the coaching relationship is not one-sided.
mm-hmm.
It is two-sided, and we both need to be in alignment with one another in order for success to occur.
Yeah. I mean, you can't have one that's not. You're not on the same page. You're not.
Hmm.
I've had consultation that was. I was like, nope, I can't. I can't coach you. Well, I'm paying you. I'm like, you're not paying me to sit here and argue with you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
You know,
exactly. So, but
you think it's all about dollar. Oh, I'm paying you. You got to do what I say. No, 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 no.
yeah.
You're not. You're not buying me. I mean, at the end of the day, if it's not gonna give you value, then
Mhm.
I'm not gonna give you something that's not gonna give you value.
Right,
It's yeah, it is. You got to make money, but it's not making money because at the end, it's gonna hurt me.
right. Yeah. And for me, at the end, it's just I want to make sure that the person's walking away having gained
Hmm.
something.
Yeah, I'm
And
all results driven.
yeah, yeah. So putting more time and energy there is for me the game changer.
All right, I got a question to ask everybody. Okay, if you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
Okay. If I could have a superpower, what would it be and why? Gosh, that's an interesting question. I've never been asked that before. I have to give that a little think for a minute. I would say that I would want the ability to, gosh, I don't know. That's hard. You're asking me a hard question, man. Because
Like
I feel
90%
like
of
I
people
already
choose the
have
same
a
thing.
superpower. I feel like my superpower is that I'm empathic and I'm able to resonate with the person that's on the other side of
A
me.
superpower that you don't have, a
Huh?
Marvel comic superpower.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to think of how would I align myself there.
You'd be like 90% of people choose the same answer they always choose.
Okay.
What do you think it is? What do you think most majority of people in the world say?
What would I think majority of the people in the world would say? I don't know. Flight? See, I would not say that.
I said they got a plane. I get on a plane and fly. I mean, come on. What am I, bird?
Oh. I mean, if I was gonna go with anything, I am a Gulf Coast girl. I love the Gulf Coast of Florida. So I would say I'd want to be able to breathe underwater. How about
That's pretty cool. What are you talking about? You see some stuff that nobody sees. Oh,
exactly. I mean, I love scuba diving, so I guess in a way I already do that. But Yeah, I mean I think that would be it. That's like I said, that's a challenging question you asked me.
Why would you want it? Now, why would you want it?
Why? Because then I could go and enjoy the underwater world and not have to be worried about, ascending properly and descending properly.
I can't do it. I can't. I have bad lungs, so I can't do it.
Yeah. Well,
Well, they might be better now. So I just had tests done. They said, and
mhm.
actually, I had been on blood thinner, and my test results are perfect.
Oh,
It's like, you need to get back on blood thinner. You have blood clotting disorder. I'm like, you just said they were perfect results, but get back on blood thinner. When I was on it, it was horrible.
mm.
No, thank you. You're a medicine pusher.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Medicine's not in line with me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as long as we're able to care for our bodies as naturally as possible, like, why take something unless it's necessary?
Mine would be
Yeah.
to tell the future.
Hmm?
I want to tell it to future.
Okay.
You see me in the news, it says, man wins Powerball for 30th time in a row.
That's great.
Investigating. Go ahead. You can't go find nothing.
That's great. I could
I'm
I could
giving
see
away
where
money.
that
Here
would
you
be
go.
a benefit.
It'd be called, it'd be called Moogle, not Google.
Right. That's great. Oh my goodness.
All right. So how can people get in touch with you? How can they find you?
Yeah, so I have a website. It's called authenticlifejourney.com. You can find me there. I'm on Facebook under the same name as well as Instagram, and on LinkedIn you can find me under my full name, Ramona Crabtree-Falkner.
I know on Facebook, when I was tagging you, it wouldn't pull your name up.
Oh, hmm.
I would say at, and then I put it, normally it pops it.
Huh.
That's why I put the link. That's why I put your link underneath your Facebook link underneath your name on the ad because I
Hmm.
couldn't put up. Did you see the thing that the video I posted?
I did not.
See, I tagged you, but it didn't put you in it.
Okay, well,
It's crazy. So there's a video on my profile with you on it, with your business information and all that stuff on it. But
okay.
I'm
Well,
gonna.
thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm not sure why it didn't pull me. Actually, I tried to tag myself from my company, and it did something weird today too. So maybe there's something going on. Who knows?
Like when normally you start typing the first name and all of them
Yeah.
yours don't even pop up. You're
Hmm.
non-existent. No, if you put your link on there at Facebook, it's right there.
That's so interesting. I don't know.
That's that long name. I think
Yeah,
my
it
first
is.
and last name might be more letters than your three full names.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have a long name, and I've learned to accept that for what it is.
Yeah, like that's your like that's been your name your whole life, or that like married maiden.
So Ramona Crabtree is my maiden name, and then Faulkner is my married. Mhm.
Cool.
So.
My name's cool. I have my name for my email address with my
Mhm.
with Platinum Mindset Group. I got
Yeah.
to change it. It's too long. I'm like, I'm like, this is too long of an email address. Jeez, it takes me 5 minutes to type it out every time. I'm like, come on, where's it? Where's the
Yeah.
memory thing? It should be popping
All
up.
of my names are long. My business name is long. My personal name is long. I like lots of words.
Yeah, I try to put PMG, Platinum Mindset Group. I'm like, nobody
Oh,
knows
there
what
you
it is.
go. Yeah. Yeah.
It looks crazy. All right. Well, thanks for getting on with us today. And I'm going to send you everything and send you the links and everything like that.
All right. Awesome.
It's
Thank you
great
so
having
much
you.
for having me.
Thank you.